Hey YouTube, it's Danielle, aka Vita Plastica, and I'm here with Kala, my Dalmore Keeley. Isn't she beautiful? I'm sorry for this harsh light, but it's nighttime and I'm just trying to get a lamp right up on my face so you could actually see me. So I'm not here to talk about Kala today. Her story is I'm still working out some kinks, and I'm not looking at you. I need to learn to look at the right place. Yeah, so I'm still working out some little holes in the story that I need to deal with, but I've been inspired by something new, and I want to talk about that. So, but she'll sit here for the arm candy because she's so pretty. I made her a little, did I talk about this already? A little fur bikini. It's really just tied on with a safety pin. She just needs something to wear while I'm working on her house, which is behind me. It's coming along. On the top layer, I just put crumbled up newspaper and then went over it with paper mache with the newspaper strips. So hopefully I can cover it with more toilet paper this weekend, and I guess get around to painting it at some point soon. But anyway, so okay, so this is gonna be kind of long, so sit down. I used to be a novelist. I guess you can call them novels, because they were novels. They were just really, really bad. And I learned that my writing is better in short form, like an essay or a Facebook post. If you're my friend on Facebook, you know what I mean. When I was, the best part I thought about working on novels was the research, especially when I was writing about things I didn't know anything about, which is one of the reasons why they were really terrible. So anyway, one of my favorite characters was named Kitten De Palma, and she was a jewel thief. And I was completely just in love with this character, Kitten, that I created, that I wouldn't let anything bad happen to her, and everything worked out for her, which, as you know, makes for really boring stories. So I think Pinot Noir ice cream bar called them Mary Sue's. Like, there's no problems, no conflict at all. So anyway, but even though the story was bad and I knew it was just terrible, I just loved this character. So I found myself drawing her when I did these cartoon girls. All right, I'm going to pan over here and you can see them on the wall, like Frida. I've got Isis over there. It's not a great shot, I'm sorry, but anyway, so Kitten was always an inspiration. But I thought recently about a lot of BJD people who have characters that they've been working on since they were teenagers, and they got into BJDs like 10 years after they've had this character. And so I thought about some of my past characters, because that's always what I did best. Dialogue and characters are the best part. The thing I do best when it comes to writing. So, so I started thinking about what characters I could bring to life in doll form. So I was thinking about Kitten De Palma. But that's not the point I was supposed to make first. First, when I was researching like famous thieves and whatnot, I came across this guy from like maybe turn of the 20th century, or maybe like 1850s. I can't exactly remember the dates, but Adam Worth, which must have been around the 1850s, like when there's like gangs of New York and stuff. He was a famous thief. He stole the painting, the Duchess of Devonshire. You remember that movie with Keira Knightley? I can't stand her, but it's a great story. He was like in love with this painting, and he never tried to fence it or anything, and he like just kept it safe like all those years and voluntarily like returned it. He loved this thing. So anyway, I've always been fascinated with that time period, turn of the century Manhattan and the gangs and stuff and the crime. So that was the best part about researching that, learning about Adam Worth. And he had this sort of like crime circle that he was part of, run by a woman called Mara Mandelbaum. And there were a lot of really powerful women in that scene, and it's not like these were noble characters. I mean, they're pickpockets and thieves and prostitutes, but there's something about that time period that I think is really cool. And so anyway, so let me just set that aside. A related matter, I have that, I told you about her before. She's my recast Rhea that I was sort of using as an experiment doll. So I even made her a little house because like I said, I love dioramas, and it was easy to put together some stuff that was a little too big for Barbie for her. But she's a recast, so I don't know. I felt like I was becoming kind of prejudiced towards her. Like, I can't ever show her, so what's the point of giving her a story? She's cheap, so why bother getting her fancy clothes? But she's a valid doll. She's got a personality, and she lives in a little house that I made her that's not her at all. I mean, look at her. She's modern. She's got flowered ducks. These are too big, but she's so super cute. But she has nothing modern. I mean, like, this isn't her house because that was left over from Sunny, or like this picture frame. I guess the stuff I had left over is just not modern style exactly. So anyway, I was kind of in limbo with her, and she was just kind of sitting there, not doing anything. And then my husband walks by and he goes, "She needs a gun." And I was like, huh, a gun? Surely I've got some old Barbie guns somewhere. But, so that kind of got me thinking, like, all right, if she has a gun, who is she? Why does she have a gun? What does she do with it? Is she a good person? So, sorry, you want to come back up here and get some attention. So I started thinking, and then I was thinking about Kitten De Palma and Adam Worth and Gangs of New York, and I decided, there we have it. I can decorate a little parlor for her, and she can have some old-timey things in there. They're not, of any particular era, so I could fake my way through it. And then I thought, maybe I need to start making that kind of half of my collection. So, so here's the scene, basically. It's 1850-something, and New York is divided into different, like, basically racial gangs of, like, Irish and Italian and black and I guess Eastern European, Polish or something. And as much as they're together, they're still divided, and there's a lot of tension. There's always fighting. Everything's dangerous. There's no police force. So these gangs are policing everything. They're the ones who put out the fires and I don't know, seek justice or something. So, I just started kind of obsessing about the idea. Like, can you imagine what it's like to live in that time? And honestly, history is not very exciting for me. I'm not a fan of history, except like distant history when humans were still pure, that kind of history I can get into. But that time period in New York is almost like the worst of mankind, where we just completely turned on each other. Like when the Civil War came around, and they wanted everybody to go and fight, and there was this draft, and everybody was freaking out. There were riots, and they set fire to a black orphanage and killed a bunch of kids. And there was just something like, I don't know, I think the number I heard today was like 20,000 killed in these riots. So anyway, it's a crazy time period, but women are in there and they're tough. They're not just sitting home. They're abandoning their children to go, to send them off to like work in steel factories and stuff. This is like, the streets are like just covered in poop and just blood and urine. It was really gross. But this kind of fuels my mind to the kind of person you have to be to survive and to even thrive in this kind of society. So anyway, so I got the idea that she could be like a tough chick from the streets. Like there was this, what was her name? Hellcat Maggie, who wore like steel claws. It was like she was like a bouncer at a club. They were some really tough chicks. Anyway, so I thought maybe she could have a gun and she could be kind of a tomboy and whatnot, but I definitely thought she needed a friend. So I think I'm looking into Fairyland, but it'd be nice to get a different kind of MSD, something that looks womanly, to be a lady of the night who is also kind of like a spy, pickpocket, safecracker or something. And maybe, these two got together and helped each other to survive. And then I was thinking, what if I had like representatives of each ethnic group that were there, and maybe these girls together have like, kind of found safety in one another. And I don't know. I haven't fleshed out a story yet, but right now I'm just researching the time period, and it makes me so excited. So excited! So, anyway, I'm just really excited about that. It looks like we're at 11 minutes, so I guess I'll stop. And thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Sorry, I'm not doing this very well.